What's up, guys? Justin here for Team Shenanigans, and this is the day after Atlanta Springfest. We're back home, and we had a great time. Played Vanguard on Saturday and Buddy Fight on Sunday, and I'm proud to say I was able to make top 8 in Buddy Fight. And so I'm just bringing you a deck profile of the deck I used. So I used Magic World, and my buddy was Art of Body Duplication as Modai. So see here. So for the size 3s, ran 4 second Omnilord as Modai. He's just really good at that 10k defense. It's hard for people to get over him, and he has the ability to pay gauge, discard 2, and prevent himself from leaving the field. So it doesn't prevent penetrate, but there's other ways to get around that. And he's like the main boss card of the deck. And the deck uses up a lot of gauge. He costs 2 gauge every time you want to bring him back out, but you run a lot of gauge excel to get around that. And you also run this guy to kind of get around that. Run 2 copies of Inverse Asmodai. So he's just the best backup to, since you only run 4 regular Omnilord Asmodai, he's the next best thing to draw into. Because you want to keep him on the field if it benefits you, and this guy you just don't care. He has lifelink too, just like the regular Asmodai does. He still has penetrate and the exact same stats, but when he's destroyed, you mill the top 3 cards of your deck and call up to 3 monsters from among the cards milled without paying their call cost. So you mill an Omnidai after he's destroyed, you got it in the center now. So it's just a really good backup card, and it kind of can help keep the deck going. And then the last size 3 is ran 2 Champion Wrestler. Costs 2 gauge. It's a size 3, 9/2/1. When it enters the field, you discard as many cards as you want to pop on the field, and you pop that many cards. And he has double attack. So getting him off Death Omnidai's skill during your opponent's turn, you can just wipe their board. They have to end their turn, and you just infinitely plus, and it's just really good. It's a really dirty card. A lot of times, I would just go into Champion Wrestler on my turn, discard the amount of cards I wanted to pop on my opponent's field, and then just call over him with like Omnidai or Death Omnidai. So that's it for the size 3s. And just run 4 size 2s, 4 Dance Asmodai. Good stats, cost 1 gauge, 6k power, 2 crit, and 1k defense. But you mainly just use him for the draw engine and your rush plays with body duplication. He, when he enters the field, you draw a card. So nothing special, and you can just keep looping him with Magical Goodbyes and Art of Body Duplication to draw out the pieces you need. Because as long as you draw into your gauge excel, you're not really going to run out of gauge too quickly, as long as you use it smartly. And then for the body duplication Asmodai, the best thing about him is the fact that he's 2 crit. So he's 2/2/1, and he has the counter skill to during your turn, you can put him in the drop and call out any Asmodai card from the drop by paying its call cost. So you get him and Dance Asmodai and a size 0, or just 3 of him, and you just go off, rush your opponent down. You can only use his effect once per turn, so you just got to keep that in mind, and you can only use it during your turn. So you just swing with him and then use his skill. Even if they try to pop him, his skills counter. So you just remove him, get out an Omnidai, or even a Champion Wrestler if you want to. And then the last 2 size 1s is 2 Follower Gap. The best thing about this card, honestly, is the fact that it can be a size 0 when you have a size 3 on the field, but the most OP thing about it is the effect to pay 2 life and add any 72 pillar from your drop zone to your hand. So if you want to rush your opponent, you can call him out, pay 2, get a body duplication, and then rush for body duplication skill, get one of the Omnilord Asmodai's or a Champion Wrestler. And the best thing about one of the great plays with him is you can also use him to get one more set back. So he doesn't specify 72 pillar monster, so you can grab any of your 72 pillar spells back out of the drop with his effect too. Then on to size zeros, run 4 Battle Wizard Ace. When it's discarded, you pay a life draw card. So it's just really good for keeping from minusing with Champion Wrestler and Omnidai. Also, the fact it's a 0 can really help. Just like how Gap's treated like a 0 again in your Ozzy to Haka matchup. So you have something to link attack with. And then the last monster, run 1 Dawn of the Distant Days. It's really the MVP in like the Ozzy match because it keeps bouncing back to your hand and you can keep him safe and you have something to link attack with every turn. And it's just really nice to keep poking for 1 while you have Omnidai on the field, and then he bounces back to your hand. So that's 1 extra card to play with that you could possibly discard to protect your Asmodai. Then on to spells. Run 3 one more set. It is easily probably the best spell in the deck. It's really the only offensive spell. Just counter speed, stand a card with Asmodai and its card name on your field. So with your rush plays, it can get ridiculous. You can do 11 damage in 1 turn. I took somebody from 11 to 0, and I felt bad. But it's a really good card. You can get it back with Gap. You can restand any of your Asmodais. When you restand Champion Wrestler, do keep in mind it does not reset his double attack. And next, the deck is a very defensive deck with the Omnidais and the inverse Omnidai, but you still need to run your defensive spells, or at least in this format, because there's a lot of stuff that can still get over him, and then you have Penetrate and everything. So I main board 4 Chillax, pay gauge. The next time you would take damage, it's reduced to 0 and you gain a life. It's also really good if you want to rush your opponent and you have an Omnidai on board already and it's your turn. You can cast this, then call over the Omnidai with a body duplication or something. And instead of taking the lifelink 2, the damage will be reduced to 0, you gain a life, and now you can rush them with your rush combos. It can help you with Shadow Dive, Penetrate, because you can still activate this if they attack with Penetrate and still save your Asmodai. Because you activate this on Declaration of Attack, and Asmodai's skill is on a completely different counter chain because you activate his skill to save himself on resolution of the attack. So, very, very, very good card. And, of course, Solomon's Shield and It's All Cool and stuff like that aren't nearly as good as Chillax in this deck, because if they're having to link attack to get over him anyway, and if your Omnidai's on board, your center's not open. So, next, run 4 Magical Goodbye, just because it's one of the best staples in Magic World. You bounce any counter speed, bounce any size 2 on the field, any size 2 or lower on the field back to its owner's hand. So they try to link attack, you cast this, bounce it back. Dungeon World enters battle, you bounce their Tetsuya back. You can bounce Decker Drum back. It's just a really, really good staple card. It's not as good against other certain matchups, like Kaiserian and such, and probably the Ozzy to Haka matchup too. But this is one of the cards that you would side out against a bunch of things, and you just have to have your side deck set up right to side that out, side in better cards against some worse matchups. Next to run 2 Pathetic. It's a very good card. The only reason I didn't run more of it is most of my problem matchups hit over the magic number. They'll be swinging they'll link attack with 2 things for 14 or higher. So Pathetic's useless. It's counter speed, minus 2,000 power to every item and monster on your opponent's field. So against decks that can't hit numbers, it's really good. But a lot of decks can hit really high numbers right now. So 2 is the right number for it. And against a lot of matchups, I still sided it out. Game 2. Next is basically just the engine of the deck. You run 4 Nice One. Pay gauge, draw 2 cards, can only cast 1 per turn. Best draw spell in the game just because there's no life requirement or anything like that. It's just really good, and it helps you plus and dig out your pieces, dig out your defensive spells, and yeah. Next is 4 Never Say Never. Gain 2 gauge, and if there are no cards in your hand, draw 2 cards. So this is the best card to top deck into, or you can rush the play every card in your hand, and then play this, replenish your hand. On a champion wrestler turn, it's amazing. You discard everything to pop everything on the field, then play Never Say Never. So gain 2 gauge, and you can only activate one once per turn. Next, Solomon First Volume. It also gains you 2 gauge. That's all it does. It is counter speed, so if you draw it off like on your opponent's turn, you save your Asmodai, you discarded an ace, you pay a life, draw a card. If it's this, you can, before their next attack, if you need to, if you're out of gauge and you need to save your Asmodai again, you can play this, gain the 2 gauge, and then still save your Asmodai. So the fact that it's counter speed is really good. And then the last spell, 2 copies of Second Volume. You pay a lot of life in this deck, and I made sure to make the deck exactly 50 cards just because it is a combo deck and you need to draw into your pieces, so you want to make it as consistent as possible. So if you have a First Volume in your drop, when you cast this card, you gain a life and draw a card. Even if you don't have one of these in drop, you can still cast this to gain a life, and that can help in some situations. But between the deck's draw power and Inverse Asmodai's milling, you're basically always going to have one of these in drop, unless you open with this. Which a lot of times if you open with this, you'll open with both of these. So it's really not a problem. It was never dead for me at all day. It's a great card. Onto the sideboard. Just when I built the sideboard, I just thought about like what my worst matchups would be. So I chose to side for Barbed Wire. Of course, for the Hero World matchup, Kaiserian, Dungeon World, and really Dark Heroes too, with Makuro's release. Because if you they declare entering battle or whatever, you Barbed Wire the Makuru before they're able to attack with it the first time, it can't restand. You Barbed Wire the Kaiserian when they activate Subvert skill. It's just a really good card. A lot of decks rely on their item. This is also amazing against Ozzy Dahako because that sword can really mess you up. Nobody likes to get hit in the face with a 6 crit weapon. So Barbed Wire is a staple side deck card. Next is 4 That's How I Roll. I chose not to main deck this card because I felt like main decking the Pathetics and the Magical Goodbyes is a lot better because it can enable my counterattack with Omnidai. But in the matchups where Magical Goodbye doesn't really hit anything and Pathetic doesn't do anything for me, you side these in. It's really good against Ozzy because it nullifies the entire attack, nothing gets hit, and your Omnidai isn't forced to counterattack them, and then they get to swing in with the sword. So this is clutch against them, and anything with Penetrate really can really help you, really save you. And the last 2 spots are just 2 no-brainer. I never had to use it over the weekend, but it's a really good card. You cast this, you choose one of your monsters, and for the rest of that turn, whenever that monster attacks your opponent's monster, you choose, you remove 1 soul from the monster being attacked, and then destroy it. So anything with a lot of Soul Guard or anything like that, it can help against like Raging Spirits or like a drum deck that stacks a lot of soul in there. It can help with annoying matchups. I never really needed it, but it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So that's my deck, guys. I was able to go 7-0 in Swiss and made it in top 8, and then sadly my deck crapped on me first round of top 8 and I got knocked out. So, but things happen. Overall, my matchups were round 1 I played against Quartet 5, round 2 5th Omni, and then round 3 was 5th Omni also. And then round 4, Kaiserian. Round 5 was Hunter Demon Yami-Geto. And round 6 was Azita Haka. Round 7 was a Decker Drum superhero deck. And then round 1 of top 8 was actually a rematch of the guy I beat round 1. And I didn't draw what I needed, and he rushed me really hard. And that was the game. But overall, it was a really fun day. In Swiss, I was able to go 2-0 every round except one. I only had to go to game 3 once. So the deck just worked really consistently. And it's sad that Omnidai is not going to be quite as good going forward with Black Dragons coming out. But that's it, guys. If you have any questions, just leave a comment down below. Please like the video and subscribe if you haven't. And thanks for watching.